Have you ever wondered why happiness never seems to last? Why comfort quickly turns to boredom? Or why every goal feels exciting at first but hollow once achieved? Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer believed these weren't personal issues. They were symptoms of life itself. Schopenhauer argued that suffering isn't accidental or temporary. It's built into the structure of human existence. Long before modern psychology or social media, he diagnosed a deep, ongoing dissatisfaction at the core of life, and he believed he had found the reason why. Born in 1788 in Germany, Schopenhauer lived through the Enlightenment and the rise of industrial capitalism. While others praised progress and reason, he saw growing anxiety, loneliness, emotional pain, and the emptiness behind modern ambitions. At the heart of Schopenhauer's thinking is a concept called the will. He claimed that behind all human action, and even behind nature itself, is a blind, irrational force. The will endlessly drives us to want, strive, and desire, never to rest. Unlike free will, this will isn't something we control. It's what controls us. The will makes us pursue goals, fall in love, compete, consume, and fight. Not because we choose to, but because we're wired to chase satisfaction that never stays. Schopenhauer believed we live in a constant loop. We want something, we struggle to get it, we finally succeed. But then a new desire immediately replaces the old one. The cycle never ends. And so, suffering becomes our default state. Happiness, in Schopenhauer's view, isn't a lasting state. It's just a brief pause between two waves of suffering, between craving and boredom. He said pleasure is always negative. It removes discomfort temporarily, but never creates lasting joy on its own. This sounds grim, but if you think about it, modern life proves his point. We're always waiting for the next thing, the next phone, upgrade, promotion, trip, or even notification. Once we get it, the thrill fades and we start over, chasing again without pause. Consider how we treat our free time. We pack it with entertainment, scrolling, or shopping. Not out of joy, but to escape boredom. Schopenhauer would say this is the will in action, always pushing, never satisfied, always needing more stimulation. In fact, boredom was a key concept for Schopenhauer. He saw it not as harmless downtime, but as proof that without struggle or desire, life feels meaningless. We can't sit still because the will demands constant activity, even if it wears us out. But Schopenhauer wasn't just pointing out problems, he also offered ways to cope. He believed that there were rare but powerful moments when we can escape the will's grip, and these moments are where true peace becomes possible. The first path he offered was art and aesthetics. When we immerse ourselves in beauty, through music, poetry, nature, or visual art, we stop seeing the world in terms of use, gain, or desire. We simply witness it, and for a moment, we are free. Music held special value for him. Unlike language or logic, music expresses pure emotion without needing concepts. It speaks directly to the will. When we listen, we're not chasing anything. We're just feeling something outside of ourselves, not grasping for control. The second path was compassion. Schopenhauer believed that when we feel genuine empathy, we see past our individual needs and recognize shared suffering. In that moment, the barrier between me and you breaks down, and the will loses some of its power. He even believed that compassion was the foundation of all true morality, not rules or laws, but direct recognition of pain in others. It's one of the few times we act not out of self-interest, but from deep, honest understanding. The third and most difficult path was asceticism, renouncing pleasure, desires, and worldly attachments. Schopenhauer admired saints and monks who voluntarily gave up the pursuit of happiness to escape suffering altogether. For him, this was the truest form of freedom. Of course, not everyone can or should live like a monk. But Schopenhauer's deeper point is that the less we depend on external things to make us happy, the more peace we can actually find. Letting go brings more than grabbing ever will. So how does this all apply today? In a society obsessed with growth, status, and self-optimization, Schopenhauer's warning is more urgent than ever. We're caught in feedback loops of productivity, consumption, and validation, but we're still anxious and unsatisfied. We're told to chase goals, follow our passions, and hustle harder. But Schopenhauer might ask, for what? Every time we reach a milestone, we quickly move the goalpost. The finish line keeps moving, because the will never lets us stop. Modern culture encourages constant stimulation. We binge shows, check phones, switch apps. But underneath all this activity is often a simple truth. We're afraid of being still. Stillness reveals the boredom, anxiety, or emptiness we're trying so hard to avoid. Schopenhauer invites us to pause and reflect. What if happiness isn't something we earn by or win, but something we stop chasing? What if peace isn't more dopamine, but fewer demands, less craving, more stillness, less noise, more depth? This doesn't mean we should abandon all desires. It does mean understanding them better. Not all cravings are bad, but some are traps. And Schopenhauer helps us see which is which by asking us to observe our own inner compulsions. Think about how many of your habits are driven by the will, not conscious decisions, but urges. Refresh the feed, check for likes, buy something, eat something, post something. Not because we need to, but because it momentarily masks discomfort. Schopenhauer would say, this is the will using us. We think we're making choices, but often we're just reacting. True freedom isn't doing what you want. It's seeing clearly what drives your wanting in the first place. His philosophy isn't comforting in a traditional sense. It doesn't promise happiness, success, or fulfillment, but it does offer something else: clarity, a rare honesty about the human condition, and a chance to live more consciously within it. There's something powerful about facing suffering head-on. It's not avoiding it, but understanding its source. Schopenhauer believed that once we see how the will works, we can stop being its puppet. We can choose awareness over impulse, compassion over competition. This makes his work feel oddly refreshing in today's world. When everything is gamified, monetized, and optimized, Schopenhauer reminds us that stepping back is sometimes the wisest move. You don't have to win the game. You can choose not to play. It's not about giving up on life. It's about letting go of the illusion that life will someday complete you. When you stop expecting permanent satisfaction, you stop being crushed by its absence. In that space, something quieter emerges. Call it awareness, peace, or detachment. But whatever name it goes by, it starts when you stop running. Schopenhauer's pessimism isn't despair. It's a tool, a way to see clearly, live honestly, and perhaps suffer a little less by understanding a little more. So next time you feel empty after a win or restless in comfort, don't panic. Ask yourself, is this the will in action? And maybe, just maybe, step outside of it for a moment of stillness, depth, and something real. If this video gave you a new way to think about life, suffering, or even your daily habits, please hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's always chasing more. Sometimes the best philosophy starts with a question, a pause, or a moment of reflection.